evaluated receipt settlement. So ERS is used basically to settle goods receipts automatically. Evaluated receipt settlements. Receipt settlement means when you do a goods receipt, that we call it as receipt. To settle that goods receipt. So settling goods receipt means booking the supplier invoice and doing the payment to the supplier. So this process of booking the invoices can be automated with the help of ERS, evaluated receipt settlement. So in the case of automatic settlement of goods receipt, you agree with the supplier that the supplier does not create an invoice for an ordering transaction. Instead, you, the good recipient, allow the SAP system to generate the relevant invoice automatically. So in this case, supplier need not to generate an invoice. You, in your system, generate an invoice, and that invoice is communicated to the supplier. In the ERS, this invoice represents a credit memo for the supplier. So we create an invoice, but for supplier, it's a credit memo because he is getting paid against that invoice. The supplier is informed with a message, credit memo, about the settlement of deliveries. So we create an invoice automatically, which is a credit memo for the supplier, and we communicate that credit memo to the supplier so that he is aware that he is going to be paid for whatever he has delivered. Okay. So ERS has following advantages. Ordering transactions are completed more quickly. So you don't have to do a invoice receipt manually. That saves your time. Entry errors are avoided. Since we are not posting it manually, there is no chance of any error. Quantity and price variances do not occur in invoice verification. So there will not be any quantity variance or price variance because whatever is received, actual goods receipt, only that will be invoiced. So when you use ERS, जितना आपका GR हुआ है उतना ही क्वांटिटी का आप इनवॉइस ऑटोमेटिकली पोस्ट कर सकते हो because there is no chance to change the quantity or change the price. So if you are not changing the quantity, if you are not changing the price, there is no question of variances in invoice. There will not be difference in GR quantity or IR quantity, or there will not be difference between the PO price and the invoice price. So evaluated receipt settlement, in short, it is called as ERS. So you create a PO 100 piece at euro 100. You did a goods receipt of 90 piece. Then you can generate an invoice automatically for 90 piece at euro 100. And then you send a message to the supplier of this credit memo. Okay. So supplier will not be sending you a physical copy of invoice. You will generate an invoice in your system and you will communicate that invoice information to the supplier, which is a credit memo for the supplier. The basis of creating the invoices is data from PO. So if we want to create a invoice manually, हम जब manually invoice को post करते हैं तो जो भी mandatory information है that we need to enter in an invoice, like purchase order number, currency is there, supplier is there, payment terms are there, all the details should be entered automatically when posting the invoice. That information should be there in system to post the invoice automatically. Okay. So for that, payment condition, terms of payment, we need to enter in PO. We need to enter the tax details in PO. Order price from the PO item, tax information from the PO item, delivered quantities from the goods receipt that have not been invoiced yet. कितने क्वांटिटी का इनवॉइस पोस्ट करना है ऑटोमेटिकली, दैट इज डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम द एक्चुअल गुड्स रिसिप्ट क्वांटिटी। कितना जीआर हुआ है, कितना इनवॉइस हुआ है। सपोज 50 का जीआर हुआ है, 40 का इनवॉइस हुआ है, 10 इज रिमेनिंग, तो 10 विल बी कंसिडर्ड। So if we want to use ERS, evaluated receipt settlement, there are some prerequisites. There are some settings which are mandatory that we must do before we execute ERS. So what are those settings? Those settings are in supplier master record, you need to maintain the terms of payment. So when you maintain the terms of payment in vendor master record, those terms of payments are automatically copied to purchase order when you create a PO. तो जब आप PO बनाते हो, PO में वो automatically copy होता है. Second is GR based invoice verification checkbox must be selected in vendor master record. Once you select in vendor master record, it gets copied to purchase order automatically. Third is evaluated receipt settlement indicator must be selected in the vendor master record, your BP or your supplier. That in short you can call it as ERS indicator. So if that is selected, again that will get copied to purchase order automatically. You must have an info record. In info record, you should enter the tax code. So from info record, that tax code will be copied to purchase order. And in info record, there is an indicator called no ERS. That should not be selected. If you select this indicator, then this means you are not going to use ERS for this material and this supplier combination. So this indicator must not be selected. So when you maintain this prerequisite and you create a PO, in PO you will have this ERS indicator selected, then you do the goods receipt and then you can run the ERS. So when you run the ERS, you can generate an invoice automatically, and if you maintain the message determination condition to communicate that credit memo to the supplier, that credit memo can be sent to supplier. So ERS, evaluated receipt settlement indicator, is mandatory. Terms of payment is mandatory. In purchase order, ERS indicator should be there, must be there. GR based invoice verification must be selected, and tax code is mandatory. If you don't enter tax code, it will give you error at the time of ERS. So any of these things, if we miss to maintain before creating the PO, then at the time of ERS, we will get the error. Following indicator must not be set in the order item. The indicator for the estimated price okay, this is in Fiori app, create purchase order advanced app. There is an indicator called estimated price, which should not be set. You must enter the goods receipt with reference to purchase order. The necessary settings for determination of a message must exist in customizing. So message determination, in message determination, we must maintain a condition to generate the output that can be sent to the supplier. For that condition, you must have a condition record maintained on the supplier and material combination or on the supplier and company code combination, so that the invoice information or the credit memo information is passed to supplier. Okay, now let's create a PO and execute it. Any doubts, any questions? So for prerequisites, let me copy this supplier. You see payment terms maintained in company code, but these payment terms are not copied in the PO. Payment terms from purchasing data are copied into PO. Now we are into purchasing data, and this is the payment term that is maintained in the purchasing data 0002. So this payment term will be copied in the PO automatically, and this must be maintained in the supplier master record. GR based invoice verification checkbox, it must be selected. If it is selected, it gets selected automatically on the purchase order. Evaluated, automatic evaluated GR settlement. So this is the ERS indicator. So this indicator must be selected. When you select this indicator on PO, you can see that indicator here on the purchase order, ERS indicator. If you don't select this indicator, this ERS indicator will not be there on the purchase order. Let me change the vendor master record. I'll deselect these two checkboxes. I'll save it. So let's create a new PO. See, ERS indicator is not there now. GR based invoice verification indicator is coming because in info record it is selected. From info record this is coming. Okay. So this indicator, GR based invoice verification and the ERS indicator, these two indicators must be selected here on the vendor master record. Okay. So when you select this, we have unselected this indicator, but still it is coming because it is there in the PIR. Let me change the PIR. Let me remove it from here. Now you see, it is not selected. GR based invoice verification. So this indicator and the ERS indicator, these two indicators must be selected if we want to use ERS. So I'll change it. I'll select both of these indicators now. Save it. Let's create the PO again. Now you see, best. Okay, GR based invoice verification, we need to select in PIR as well. When you select it in vendor master record, you should also select that in PIR. Let me select it manually here. So these two indicators must be selected. Third thing is, in your purchasing information record, tax code must be there. So if no tax code is there in your PIR, you can see it is not copied in the PO. It is not copied in the PO. If tax code is maintained in the PIR, if you maintain the tax code in the PIR, that will be copied here. Okay, so it is mandatory that you should maintain a tax code in PIR. Now that will not come here, so I'll enter here manually. Check and save. So this PO, when we select this ERS indicator, it means we are going to create invoice automatically. Supplier is not going to send you an invoice copy and you are not going to book that invoice using Miro transaction code. हम उसको manually book नहीं करने वाले हैं. So we are going to create invoice automatically. Now you do a goods receipt. Okay, you posted a goods receipt. Now invoice will be created automatically based on the goods receipt, on this goods receipt data. So when we go for ERS, system will check the actual received quantity. System will check the ERS indicator, and based on this, the invoice can be generated automatically. Transaction code is MRRL to post the evaluated receipt settlement. In consignment settlement, we have used MRIS. There also we used ERS. So ERS is basically used whenever you are creating invoices automatically. So this is similar to your MRIS. So evaluated receipt settlement, MRRL is the transaction code. You enter company code, plant, or you can enter the goods receipt posting date, or you can enter the PO here. Okay, you do a test run first. So if I execute it, okay, and let me enter the PO that we created. There are so many documents. Execute it. So it is giving some message. No message was found for partner, vendor and / company code. It means the message determination setting to communicate that generated invoice to the supplier is missing. So when you post a ERS invoice, it should automatically send that information to the supplier. Supplier should be communicated with that information. For that, we need to maintain a message determination setting. So you go to NAC. Here you can check invoice verification. You go to output types. You need to know the output condition to determine that output for sending invoice using ERS procedure. So you can see here ERS procedure EDI, this is the message, and normal ERS procedure, this is the message ERS. If you select this, so this is the message for which we need to maintain the condition record to determine it automatically. So I'll go back and I'll maintain the condition type. You go to condition records, select here ERS, double click on it, click on company code vendor, continue, execute it. Here you need to enter the vendor code. Select it, go to communication, save it. So we have maintained a condition record now. So what that condition record means? So whenever you have this vendor and this company code combination, for this vendor in this company code, I am going to communicate the invoice that is generated automatically to this supplier using a print output. So I'll be printing that invoice and I'll sending that copy to supplier, invoice copy to the supplier. Now if you run the ERS, just go back, run it with test run only, execute it, and now that message is not there. So it means, and the postable indicator is marked with X. It means the invoice can be posted. Now I'll do one change. I'll go into the PO. I'll remove the tax code. I'll just come out of it. Let's change the tax code on the PO, make it blank, save it. So if there is no tax code, again it will give a error in ERS. I'm doing a test run. PO item contains no tax code. So this is mandatory. So that condition record, output condition record is mandatory. Tax code is mandatory along with the ERS indicator and GR based invoice verification. Now I'll remove this test run. I'll select this and I'll execute it. And you can see invoice is posted. This is the invoice document number. Open it and you can see for 80,000 the invoice is posted. Similar to how you post it. And if you go to messages, you can see that the message is determined here, ERS, print output. So if you want to see how it will look like, you can print it in MR90. You go to MR90, enter the output type as ERS, enter the invoice document number, company code details, execute it. You see this invoice document number, select it and click on print preview. You can see this is a credit memo for the supplier. As agreed, we have settled the following goods and services, credited and credited the amount to your account in our company. Details, PO number, material, all those details are there. What is the amount, what is the quantity, and the terms of payment are mentioned here. So this message is sent to supplier so that he is also aware that we are settling the goods receipt done against the purchase order. So this is how ERS process works. You can handle the delivery costs also in ERS. So we need to enter. So the freight vendor may correspond to the goods vendor. However, you can specify different value for the expense conditions. The indicator for the ERS must not be selected in the supplier must record for this different freight vendor. So if we are using the same freight vendor on the PO, then we don't have to do anything. We can settle it in similar way as we did now, right? While posting the ERS, we selected the option to settle. So you see this option here, settle goods items plus planned delivery cost. So if there is a freight condition also, freight can be paid, freight invoice can also be adjusted. Done. Chapter is completed. Okay. Now the next chapter is GR IR account maintenance. Performing GR IR account maintenance. Now what is GR IR maintenance and why we need to do it? That we need to answer. So what is GR IR account maintenance? So GR IR clearing account is posted. When it is posted? At the time of goods receipt and at the time of invoice receipt. So it is basically called as goods receipt, invoice receipt clearing account, right? So at the time of goods receipt, GR IR clearing account comes into picture, and with whatever amount it is posted, with the same amount it should get cleared at the time of IR. गुड्स रिसिप्ट के टाइम पे जितनी वैल्यू इस अकाउंट में जाती है उतनी ही वैल्यू से ये इनवॉइस के टाइम पे क्लियर हो जाता है. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड अ क्लियरिंग अकाउंट. तो वो आफ्टर योर गुड्स रिसिप्ट एंड इनवॉइस रिसिप्ट दैट अकाउंट शुड बी क्लियर्ड. उसमें जो वैल्यू है वो जीरो होना चाहिए, उसमें उस अकाउंट में बैलेंस जीरो होना चाहिए. दैट इज द पर्पस ऑफ क्लियरिंग अकाउंट. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज when there is mismatch between your goods receipt and invoice receipt quantities, then योर GRIR अकाउंट होल्ड सम बैलेंस, उसमें कुछ बैलेंस पड़ा रहता है और वो एक्यूमुलेट होते जाता है. Logically it should get clear after IR, but ऐसा नहीं होता है अगर there are differences between goods receipt and invoice receipt quantities. So at certain point of time, this account, if there are values on this account and this is not cleared, then you can manually clear that account. उसको मैन्युअली हम बैलेंस कर देते, जीरो कर देते, क्लियर कर देते. That is called as GRIR account maintenance. So to understand with an example, you can see here there is a PO of 100 piece at €10. एक परचेस ऑर्डर बनाया 100 क्वांटिटी का €10 के साथ, गुड्स रिसिप्ट किया 50 पीस का, तो स्टॉक अकाउंट में वैल्यू चला जाता है 50 × 10 500, GRIR अकाउंट में 500 का क्रेडिट. नाउ व्हेन यू receive the invoice, you received invoice for 80 piece. So what will happen? Vendor account will get a credit of 800 rupees. GRIR will be cleared with 500. Sorry. So GRIR will be posted with 800 debit and vendor account will get a credit of 800. So there is balance of 300 rupees on the GRIR account or 300 euros on the GRIR clearing account. After that, if you do a goods receipt for 30 quantities, that will get balanced. Or if you raise a credit memo to the supplier for remaining 30 quantities, that will get balanced, cleared out. But if you are not doing that, then there will be a balance on the GRIR clearing account. So let me open an Excel sheet. We created a PO. We created a PO for 100 quantities, and amount of the PO per item price of the PO is, let's say, 5 rupees per piece. Did a goods receipt. So at the time of GR, stock account 500 rupees debit, GRIR clearing account 500 credit. Okay, now for 100 quantities, okay, let's take this as PO is of 100 quantity. We did the goods receipt of 50 quantities. So 50 into 5, 250 and 250 here. Clear? Now you did a good invoice receipt IR. So what will happen? Vendor account and GRIR account will come into picture. So vendor account, so you posted an invoice of 80 quantities. Quantity variance is there. GR 50 का था, invoice हम 80 का post कर रहे हैं. There is a variance of quantity. तो यहाँ पे क्या होगा? 80 into 5, 400 rupees credit to vendor account, and GRIR clearing account will have 400 rupees debit. So at the end of invoice receipt, what is happening? GRIR पे 250 रुपये माइनस था, इनवॉइस पे अभी 400 रुपये प्लस हो गया. सो 250 रुपये माइनस प्लस 400, तो यहाँ पे एक बैलेंस जनरेट हो गया 150 रुपीज का. सो दिस इज बैलेंस ऑन योर GRIR क्लियरिंग अकाउंट. ये 0 होना चाहिए एट द एंड ऑफ IR, बट ये हुआ नहीं. इसमें 150 रुपए का बैलेंस अभी है। तो ये बैलेंस कब क्लियर होगा? आइदर यू डू अ गुड्स रिसिप्ट ऑफ रिमेनिंग 30 क्वांटिटीज, यहाँ पे 30 क्वांटिटी का डिफरेंस है, तो आप यहाँ पे 30 क्वांटिटी का वापस जीआर करोगे, तो आपके स्टॉक अकाउंट में जाएगा 150 रुपए प्लस डेबिट, और जीआरआईआर में 150 रुपए का क्रेडिट। सो अभी यहाँ पे जीआरआईआर में 150 रुपए प्लस है, उसमें 150 रुपए माइनस हो गए, तो वो जीरो हो जाएगा, इट विल बैलेंस आउट। सो वन थिंग इज यू डू अ गुड्स रिसिप्ट ऑफ 30 क्वांटिटीज और यू रेज अ क्रेडिट मेमो फॉर 30 क्वांटिटीज। तो क्रेडिट मेमो अगर 30 क्वांटिटीज का रेज करेंगे तो क्या होगा, यहाँ पे वेंडर अकाउंट को 400 जो देने हैं उसमें से 150 रुपए माइनस हो जाएंगे। सो वेंडर अकाउंट विल गेट अ debit entry of 150 plus and GRIR will get a credit entry of 150 minus। तो यहाँ पे जो 150 प्लस था उसमें 150 माइनस हो जाएगा and it will get clear out। So either you do a GR of remaining quantities or you post a credit memo of remaining quantities. In that case, this GRIR account will get clear automatically. You don't have to do anything. Okay. But suppose if you don't do this, किसी रीजन की वजह से हमने उससे वो 50 रिमेनिंग 30 क्वांटिटीज को रिसीव नहीं किया, या उसको क्रेडिट मेमो अगर रेज नहीं किया, तो जीआरआईआर पे ये 150 रुपए का जो बैलेंस है वो उस अकाउंट में वैसे ही जमा होके रहेगा। सो दिस बैलेंस, if GRIR account is not zero, if it is having some balance, then we can manually maintain that GRIR account. So manually we can post a transaction which will clear the GL account। तो यहाँ पे जो 150 रुपए प्लस है उसको हमको जीरो करना है, तो उसको हम बोलते हैं GRIR account maintenance। तो when you paste the GRIR account maintenance, this will become zero। और उसका जो ऑफसेटिंग एंट्री है वो डिपेंड करता है कि उसका हिस्ट्री क्या है उसके ऊपर। एंड so the whole purpose of GRIR account maintenance is, if there is balance on the GRIR account, then it should be cleared off। If the differences on GRIR clearing account are not cleared by a further GR or credit memo or by an invoice or return delivery, then GRIR clearing account must be maintained manually। तो उसको manually maintain करना पड़ता है, उसको जीरो करना पड़ता है। यहाँ पे और एक एग्जांपल दिया है, 100 क्वांटिटी €10 गुड्स रिसिप्ट किया 100 का, इनवॉइस आया 97 का, कम क्वांटिटी का इनवॉइस आया। तो यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, 97 का 970 का अमाउंट बुक हुआ, सो €30 का वहाँ पे डिफरेंस आ जाएगा। सो इन दैट केस आपने जो 100 क्वांटिटी का जीआर किया है उसमें से 3 क्वांटिटी अगर आप रिटर्न करोगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली जीआरआईआर अकाउंट क्लियर हो जाएगा, या फिर सप्लायर अगर रिमेनिंग 3 क्वांटिटी का इनवॉइस देता है तो जीआरआईआर अकाउंट ऑटोमेटिकली क्लियर होगा। बट अगर नहीं देता है तो वहाँ पे वो €30 का जो बैलेंस है वो पड़ा रहेगा। तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में जहाँ पे आपके जीआर और आईआर के क्वांटिटी में डिफरेंस है वहाँ पे जीआरआईआर क्लियरिंग अकाउंट पे बैलेंस बना रहता है। सो इफ दैट इज नॉट सेटल्ड, with a further goods receipt or a credit memo or a invoice transaction, then we must maintain the GRIR account manually। तो ये फाइनेंस के जो यूजर्स है अकाउंटिंग के, वो इसको मेंटेन करते रहते हैं। सो व्हेन यू डू अकाउंट मेंटेनेंस or GRIR, when you clear the GRIR account, then how the accounting entries will post, that is explained here। So if you see this example, 100 quantity, again €10, goods receipt 100 quantities, stock account will get a debit of 1000, GRIR clearing account will get a credit of 1000। Invoice comes for 97 quantities only, so GRIR is cleared with 970 a debit and vendor account with 970 credit। So there is a balance on your GRIR clearing account minus €30। So when you post the GRIR account maintenance, when you do the maintenance, The GRIR account is having a debit of 30 rupees, तो इसमें 30 rupees add कर दिया, so that ये 1000 rupees minus और ये 970 plus 30, 1000 rupees minus 1000 rupees plus, it becomes 0, and this 30 rupees credit is posted to your stock account if it is moving average price. So the impact will be hitting to your inventory account, because we are actually paying 970 rupees to supplier, but to the stock account at the time of GR we have posted 1000 rupees, 1000 euro. So a credit of 30 euros will post to stock account. So at the end you received material worth 970 euros, and you posted an invoice for 970 euros. MR11 is the transaction code to maintain the GRIR account. GRIR account को maintain करने के लिए जो transaction code है, that is MR11. Now let's post the GRIR clearing. Okay. Let me create a new PO. Okay. जैसे PO है, 100 क्वांटिटी है, 800 का प्राइस है, टोटल इसका वैल्यू हो गया 80,000. ठीक है. Now we will post a goods receipt of, let's say, 50 quantities. So out of 100, suppose I received 50 quantities. So 50 into 800. You go to document info, you can see here 50 into 800, 40,000. So I'll copy this. Just enter it here. So your stock account finished good inventory is having a debit of 40,000. GRIR account, GRIR clearing account, this is having a credit entry of 40,000. Now let's do a invoice entry. And we will post invoice for 80 quantities. Now I change the quantities to 80 here. 80 into 80, it will be 64,000. This is a quantity variance example. Copy it, simulate. Posted, display the invoice, go to the accounting document, copy this. So your vendor, Bridgestone Tire Limited, 64,000 credit and GRIR debit of 64,000. So if you see here, what is happening? There is a balance on GRIR account. So 64,000 minus 40,000. This is the value that is lying in GRIR clearing account. 24,000 is the balance on GRIR clearing account. So if you do a further goods receipt of 30 quantities, this will become 0, or if you raise a credit memo, this will become 0 automatically. But if that is not done, then we need to maintain the GRIR account. Transaction code for that is MR11. We can enter here PO number to check what is the balance on GRIR clearing account. So here you have different options. Surplus types, delivery surplus. Delivery surplus means goods received quantity is more than invoice received quantity. Invoice surplus means invoice received quantity is more than GR quantity. So in this particular PO, we have invoice surplus. We have done the goods receipt of 50 quantities and invoice receipt of 80 quantities. So I am selecting here invoice surplus. Purchase order date. These are old dates. I'll just remove these dates. Or we can enter today's date here. Clear GRIR clearing account, delivery costs account. So we are maintaining the GRIR clearing account. So you need to select here GRIR clearing account. Is there option to do a test run? There is no test run, I guess. Let's execute this. Last moment before key date. When I'm selecting ERS purchase orders, this option it is coming because in our PO ERS indicator is selected. Okay, if this ERS indicator is not there, then we don't have to select this option. So I need to select this ERS because the PO is ERS. So if you execute it now, sorry, just execute it with PO number. So enter the PO number here, execute it. So from the purchase order date we have entered here GRIR clearing account, ERS purchase orders and invoice surplus. Execute it. This is the PO. You can select this PO and you can see that there is difference of 30 quantities in GR and IR quantity, and the total difference value is 24,000 credit, which is there on the GRIR account. So you can select this PO and you can click on post. So when you post clearing, this will get clear out. So system will do a adjustment of this value. So it will make the GRIR clearing account balance as 0. So let's post it. So what it says, account determination INT1 PRD. Okay, not possible. So it is trying to make the adjustment. It is trying to hit the price difference account. Maybe the material master is priced with standard price. But let me maintain that GL account first. It's PRD. Where is PRD? INT1 PRD 7920 is not possible. 7920. Document is created. This we can open this document number, my R4. Sorry, the transaction code that is used to display this MR11 show. Enter, and you can see the accounting entries here. Select this, click on follow on documents, go to accounting document, and you can see GRIR clearing account has a credit of 24,000. तो उसमें से 24,000 को माइनस किया, वहाँ पे 24,000 प्लस था, 24,000 को माइनस किया तो वो 0 हो गया. So GRIR is now 0 and the offsetting entry is posted to price difference account. क्यों प्राइस डिफरेंस को हो गया? मे बी material is maintained with standard price, that is why it is posted to price difference account. अगर ये मूविंग एवरेज होता मटेरियल मास्टर में तो स्टॉक अकाउंट को पोस्ट हो जाता. So this is how you maintain the GRIR